Yeah. Well, welcome to In the Spotlight. It's your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, on Hard Body Radio.
Yeah.
And today, I have a man who, for the life of me, when I first seen his name, I could never pronounce it right. And it's Lilrickcism.
Yeah.
I know when y'all see his name on this, you could be like, what?
Yeah, that's why I always put on my Instagram, it says pronounced lyricism.
Right.
Until I make it, I'm going to be able to take it off. But for now, yeah.
But you don't have to worry about you being confused. We just had a confusion with two artists who were named kind of similar. Mm-hmm. So you'll never have that worry as far as the spelling of it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I thought of when I created the name. I was like, yeah, I Google it. I'm the only one that pops up. Right.
You ain't got to worry about 20 other people coming up.
Right. Little this, little that, little this, little. I can't.
Yo, I talked about this on my show before. I was like, yo, you know how you'd be like, yeah, you know, young so-and-so, and be like, oh, yeah, I know he from over east side. No, he from over west. Not even talking about the same person.
Right.
So, yes, it's a very unique name. And I met you a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Was it through Billy?
Yeah, it was through Billy. I started out doing shows with him. I didn't start with him, but doing shows with him. Shout out to Wisdom Court, shout out to Billy. Really held me down for a long time. And then I met you, and then you held me down a long time with the pictures and the shows. I got a lot of practice. Just introduction to performing through you guys. So I appreciate it.
I tell this story all the time because my In the Spotlight show was a showcase. Like a lot of people don't realize that my In the Spotlight radio show is a part of a brand, which was in the Spotlight mixtape series, which I still have. I just haven't been working on it. I got all this music from all these artists that have been coming through here, and I just got so much going on. But I'm going to get the next 2 or 3, probably 3 by now, mixtapes up online as soon as I can.
Word. But some fire on there too.
Well, it's every artist that passes through here. Yeah. They get put on the mixtape, and it's just a promotional tool so people can, hear different people. I actually have Pennsylvania artists come down once a month, and not only artists, I've had producers, engineers, like they all come through. So it's just whoever wants to be in the spotlight. Yeah. But In the Spotlight, like I said, is a brand. It started with my mixtape series. Then I started doing showcases. And my showcase was a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. I didn't care who was talented. If you wanted to perform and get on the stage and get on a platform, that's what I did. I also split ticket sales with you 50-50.
Absolutely.
And everything.
It was fair to me. I mean, a lot of people didn't find it fair, but it was fair to me, and the shows was always lit too.
Right, always. There was always a good crowd. Absolutely. So you weren't performing for the other artists.
Right.
And it was a stepping stone because if you could sell tickets to be at 5 Seasons, then Billy at the time was working with Ramshead and Soundstage.
Right. Exactly.
So, he was kind of like scouting people to do those shows as well. You
know what? I think I met you first and then Billy. Because I started performing with Ross Statton, his shows, and then I think he linked me to you.
Probably because.
And then you told me about Billy.
Because I'm gonna tell you, the story that I have is this: you did my show. My only requirement was 15 tickets. You sold 28 and had people still coming to the door.
Hell yeah.
And because of that, Billy ended up putting you on Ramshead.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah.
Billy put you on Ramshead, and you got to perform at Ramshead a couple of times.
Yeah, Ramshead, that was
there's not too many people who could say that they performed on Ramshead stage.
That was a blessing, and that was a blessing.
Right.
Just to be on the stage where all them legends perform at, to this day, that's.
So that was my thing, because you was like, I need more tickets. I was like, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was really pushing it. I was pushing it for real.
Yeah, so that's always been my story. I always tell that story. Be like, hey, I asked everybody to sell 15 tickets. He's 28 and he still had people at the door.
Oh yeah.
So that show was an awesome show too. Like all my shows seem to be really great shows.
I agree.
And it was, I posted this question yesterday. I said I wanted to do an experiment. If I had the money to actually lose, I would do this experiment. I want to take and I want to do a show with those artists who say, I don't sell tickets. I don't want to sell tickets. I shouldn't have to sell tickets.
That's a lot of them.
I'm going to do a show with them. And then I want to do a show with artists who have no problem selling tickets and getting paid off of those tickets.
Right.
And see the difference in the crowd.
Absolutely.
And somebody was like, well, the show would be lit if they, you got good artists. That's not what my shows are about, because that's how you get to the point of having the shows with the same people performing every single show.
Right.
That's kind of like redundant.
Yeah, if you gotta sell tickets. You have to. Like, how you expect to sell, you know what I mean, to even make it out of Baltimore with that mentality? The people are like, well, the promoter. Let me tell you, everybody knows, quote unquote, I'm using fingers, y'all, knows Lisa. They know Baltimore Paparazzi. Yeah, they know me. They may support me because I take pictures of them. But when it comes to a show, they're not coming out for me. They're not coming out to support me and what I'm doing. So it has nothing to do with the promoter. Yeah. If I was throwing a party, right, that's different. Exactly. My thing is the artist should have a fan base, and the artist should be able to if I put your name on that flyer, people should say, oh, so-and-so's performing. I want to go to this. Absolutely. But with the local underground, you don't always have that. Right. And I'm trying to get people to understand that, but egos, I guess, get in the way. Yeah, that'll be the death of a career right there. Right. So, I guess I'm just going to get in. See, I don't call these interviews anymore. They're just conversations I have. Word. Because I used to have the questions, because actually I have my notebook here, but this is because I'm in the middle of writing a book. So I'm writing down different little tidbits for my book. No, it's not a tell-all book about the Baltimore scene, although I probably would make a bestseller. Hell yeah. I know you got all the tea. I don't even ask nobody anything. They just, hey, did you hear? Now I can't unhear it. Right. I don't want to know. I'm like that mother that doesn't want to know that her kids are sexually active. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I don't want to have that vision in my head. Right. So, yeah, but no, it's just a book I've been writing like for years. It's just I get writer's block, and I've got different chapters already kind of like planned out or written, and just got to try to pull it all together. Yeah, I always thought about writing a book. I don't even know where to start at. So right. I just start jotting, I start writing stuff down. I started writing it when I was in a depressed point in my life, and I just kind of. That's time to write, vent, get it all out. Just kind of played out the scenarios of life. Some of it has got some of my life based into it, of course. It's just like lyrics. Yeah. When you write a song, it comes from you, so you've experienced it, whether you've experienced it yourself or you've been around it. Absolutely. So it's kind of like writing a book. Like, I get writer's block so easy. I'll be in the shower, have great thoughts, great things going through my head, and go to type it, and be like, damn, where did that go? I feel you on that. So, but yeah, I don't, I just have conversations. And I usually, I ask some of the questions or whatever that everybody asks. But sometimes I ask questions and you'd be like, wow, I've never been asked that before. Scarbar did that. I asked Scar where he got his name from. He was like, nobody's ever asked me that. I was like, what? For real? All these years, right. Nobody's asked you about your name? Right. I mean, I know his government name. Yeah. And nobody's asked you your name. Oh, okay. Hey. I was bamboozled, and he was shocked. So, when did you first start rapping, rhyming, whatever? 6th grade. Yeah, I feel like I've been destined for it, because I picked up a pen in the 6th grade, wrote my first rap, and it was history from there. I started filling up rhyme books in the 7th and 8th grade. Didn't get to perform it until around senior year of high school. But I would write. Still got all my books. Wow. Still got all my books up here, from the floor, loose papers and stuff like that. It's crazy going back and reading all the stuff I wrote as a kid. You know what I mean? But it was just my way of venting. You know what I mean? My way of letting out and just trying to let my hang out, just all experiences that I've been through. So literally since the 6th grade, music is in me.
Who was at that time? Who were you influenced by as far as music wise?
Well, my older brother was a rapper as well, so he don't rap like that no more. But I looked up to him, so it was just like at that time it was him, and of course like my top 5. Like I was still am a huge Tupac fan. So Tupac, Biggie, and of course like all the 90s artists, they just motivated me. But my older brother, just watching him reading his rhymes in his rhyme book, it motivated me to get my own and start going.
Well, that's usually like when you have an older sibling or like an older cousin who's like a sibling. It seems like that seems to be people's stories.
Yeah.
Because I asked that question, and I always ask people like who was your influence at that time, because I want to know where their music mind is.
Right. Because
you'd be amazed at like what you can learn from somebody when they say, Tupac is one of my, all-time favorites, or, and I get a couple of the younger generation in here, and they'll say like, I had a couple people come in here and say that Kanye, was who kind of like, when they heard Kanye, I was like, Kanye before he went crazy, right? Because I like Kanye before he went crazy.
The old Kanye.
Right. So, I mean, and I understand people have to evolve, but I don't think that he kind of evolved. I don't know where he took it. Everybody's like, he hasn't been right since his mom passed, which is true. I mean, I understand. I understand that, but still, music, But you can always tell where somebody's mindset is.
Right. Yeah, I want that. We all want that old Kanye back for real. He put out some hits, and his beats, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's legend. Definitely stamped in the game.
I think with him, when he first came out and he did Through the Wire, and his jaw was wired shut, that kind of like, people were like, oh man, he went through this and did this, and and people, started listening. They were listening to him, and then he put the projects out, and then, like I said, his mom passed away, and I don't think he got the help mentally that he needed.
I agree.
And I don't think he let it out in his music either. So, like I said, to me, music is therapy, because when I'm listening to music, it helps me either get out of a depressed state or put me even deeper down, depending on what I'm listening to. And as an artist, it's therapy as well. Like you said, when you were using it, writing to keep from, maybe going out here and fighting in the schoolyard and getting suspended from school in the 6th grade.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. All my anger, my pain went down in the notebooks. Right. And I can just go back and just read all the stuff I used to write. And it was real, you know what I mean? Like, I always wrote from the heart and the soul. Of course, I had, like, some of those outlandish Eminem bars. But, like, most of it was just, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. Straight from the heart.
I mean, and that's why I say, like, when you're that young and you start to write, you're influenced by another artist as far as how they flow, the things that they say, because you're young. Now I've had people in here. Last year before, we've been in this building since September. So previous to that, so it's been about a year. I had a couple artists in, and I was like, "So when did you start rap? When did you start rapping?" It was like 2 years ago.
Damn.
I was like, 2 years ago. I was like, well, that kind of solidified, because I have this saying, and people laugh. I say this every week: you cannot throw a stone without hitting a rapper.
Yeah.
Everybody raps now.
I agree.
They don't all do it well, but everybody raps. I looked around one day and I knew every artist. It seemed like in Baltimore. I've seen them at shows. I go to shows and be like, oh yeah, da 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 da. Then one day I went to a show and knew nobody. I was like, where did y'all come from?
Right.
Who are you? Everybody can rap now.
I always think what solidifies a rapper is how he performs. If you can rap all you want, but if you can't, you got a stage presence, that's gonna make or break you right there.
Right. And for me as a fan and supporter of the scene as a whole, that's what I look for. And what I've seen lately is the fact that a lot of these artists that are hot now in Baltimore, that everybody says, oh, they've got it. They're the ones they're the ones everybody's listening to. And I'm like, but they've never performed on a stage.
Yeah.
They're YouTube fans. You know, people, they do YouTube videos, and that's where they get their fans. Right. But then when they get up on that stage, they do get a chance to get up on that stage. They're not holding the mics. They're rapping over their CD, not even a show CD, but the CD.
That's a big no right there. I've always performed over my instrumentals. It's hard, but that's how you learn your craft. You got to remember your lyrics.
Right. So, and I witnessed all this for myself at Summer Jam.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Right. I'm at Summer Jam. I was there for 92Q, asked me to come and take pictures, be a part of their photography team. And I seen it for myself. I heard about these guys. Everybody's like, yeah, they the big thing. They doing this, they doing that. I've never seen them perform. So they're on stage at Pier 6 Pavilion. And the mics are down here, and they rapping, but they jumping around, and I'm just like,
not at Pier 6, really?
But nobody cared.
Yeah.
Because nobody cared.
Damn.
And then I was at the Ja Rule show, and
the most recent one.
He's still, I don't care. He's still awesome.
He
gave one hell of a show.
Yeah, I seen a few people on my Snapchat. They were posting videos. I was vibing. I felt like I was in a concert.
Let me tell you. I'm getting coaches thinking about this shit right now. But he was awesome.
Yeah.
And he took his shirt off, and he was even more awesome. I forgot about everything. I was like, whoa, Ja, where did all that come from?
And the ladies going crazy in there.
Yeah, yes, they were. His wife was with him, but we didn't care. But it was an opening act. J Money Hackett had opened.
Yeah, I seen.
And he did a hell of a job. I was really proud of him.
Shout out to J Money. Word.
And the next artist came on, and the very first song he did, he forgot like the whole first verse. He wasn't rapping over his lyrics. I gave him that.
Yeah.
But he just like forgot his whole verse, and everybody was like getting on me because I said something about it. I'm sorry. As somebody who's been in this scene for as long as I have, and seen, I have my pet peeves. Yeah. One, if you're going to rap over your lyrics and I can't hear you, you might as well just give everybody a CD.
Pretty much.
Did
he at least freestyle, or did he kind of like,
He did his ad-libs.
Shit.
Right.
Because I forgot my lyrics one time, but I freestyled until the hook came.
Right.
So I made it. As soon as I was drunk too. So I was real drunk. I drank 50 Henny with my niggas before I was lit. But as soon as I realized that second verse was coming, I was like, damn, I don't even know how to, shit. Started freestyling. But I still made up for it, and nobody could tell. I was telling people at the end, I was like, yo, I forgot the whole verse. He was like, for real? But that's how you got to do it, though.
But see, and that's what a lot of people say, I was dealing with pit fights and with the battle raps. Yeah. And people be like, yo, I fucked up. And it was like, don't tell people that you fucked up. Right. And that's just like on stage. Don't tell people that you fucked up. Just keep going. Yeah, rap absolutely. Something. You should be able to freestyle.
Like Eminem said, if I fumble a verse, keep going.
Right.
Yeah, and I've always took that to heart. That's real shit.
All you had to say, if one of your fans that knows your song says something, you'd be like, oh, that's a remix. I ain't put out.
Right.
But, and I'm just like, my thing is, like with somebody who sings, you can hand me your CD and I can hear a song and they can sing, but I want to hear you live.
Yeah, singing live is a whole other game. Yeah.
That's one reason why I love Rob Seven and my friend Kelly Lowe. Both of them, they've sang Happy Birthday to me at my birthday parties.
That's what's up.
And, they've sang. Like, I used to tell Kelly, we'd be on the phone talking for like hours. Talk about what I don't even know. We'd just be talking about stuff. I'd be like, yo, can you come over here and just sing me to sleep and then you can go to hell home? So I like that, like you said, performance to me. I had somebody tell me, oh yeah, I was at Vanity Room. And I think it was a Loud Boy show, Block Hugger and them. And Ogun was hosting.
Word.
So Ogun shouted me out, oh, Baltimore Paparazzi, blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, shut up. Everybody just leave me alone. I'm just going to come here, I'm going to take my pictures, You know, people that know me, that's cool. So of course I felt like all eyes on me. You know, I'm like standing like a deer in headlights. Guy walks up to me, oh yeah, make sure you get your camera ready when my artist gets on stage. He gonna show you something. Be like, okay, well my camera's always ready. Right. But gotcha. His artist got on stage with like 2 of his homeboys, which was cool. Mm. Don't have 20. Right. 2, maybe 3. That's cool. I don't need a whole, because your whole entourage is up there, and I'm looking at the drunk ones who can't spit your words.
I've seen it so many times, yeah.
And they fumbling over themselves. Yeah. And I'm standing here trying to take pictures of you performing, and I'm watching the drunk ones over here. Yeah, it doesn't work out well. So he gets up there, and I'm waiting for him to show me something. Mm. He showed me how he can hold the mic, close his eyes, and rock side to side. That was it. So what are you trying to show me? That you can close your eyes and perform? Okay.
They don't understand, like, that's make or break for real. Like, that's make up, like, you performing in front of people. And imagine if they open up for big artists and stuff like that, and they doing that. Ain't nobody gonna want to follow them on no type of social media platform after that. Like,
no. And I mean, like, now,
they gotta learn.
A lot of the music now is just the turn up music. Okay, well, I can't turn up all the time.
Exactly. The same way.
I can't do the turn up all the time.
I don't want to wake up in the morning to it.
I'm gonna be there like the meme that's going around now with the lady with the hands on her knees. Let me catch my breath.
For real.
But that's, for me, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of getting past the local scene onto bigger and better scenes. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. If nobody else is looking at it that way, I'm sorry. Right. But that's the way I look at it. So when I see the artists up on stage and they're not engaging, or they're just, because their lyrics on there, they're just partying. Right. And I'm just like, okay, why am I standing here? Why am I, why I'm not entertained?
I feel
you. And like I said, people want to, they coming at me sideways about how I feel, but these are my pet peeves. Right. Not only does your song have to be good, but your performance has to be good.
Absolutely.
I get on J Money all the time because trying to get pictures of him, he's from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage to the other side of the stage, and he's going back and forth. Yeah. But that's good showmanship. What you looking for?
I'm not saying nothing about me because I'm just going to get something.
Yeah. I'm talking about 3D.
I'm just a regular guy.
3D.
Trying to blend in.
Yeah, that's why you cut your hair so you can blend in.
Yep. I'm going to rest so much.
But
I'm going. I'll see you next time.
All right. So, I'm just like, I forgot what I was talking about. 3D threw me off. Him and that haircut.
Just performing and.
Well, I mean, to me, like, it's just that you have to engage, and what the reason that I'm looking at that for the local underground artists is because I see that from the industry artists.
Absolutely.
I got told, I was like, what? Since when has it been cool to rap over your lyrics? And it was right after one of them damn music award shows years ago, and it was like, well, Rick Ross does it, but you're not Rick Ross. Right. Rick Ross has been he's able to get away with that because he is Rick Ross. Mm-hmm. But you can also hear Rick Ross on the vocals.
Right. And people know the lyrics to his songs already. So when y'all, with like local shows, they listening to actually hear, what you got to say.
See, I know that I do because I listen to words. And that's why, like, my kids always try to get me, they've always trying to get me to listen. Like, when I was a ringtone lady back in, like,
ringtone.
Yeah. I was a ringtone lady in like 05, 06. It was always Little Boosie.
Yeah.
And Webby. And Fox.
Hell yeah.
Wipe Me Down. That one and all Little Boosie's catalog used to get on my damn nerves. I can't get past Boosie's voice. My daughter was like, Ma, you got to listen to his words. You got to listen to his lyrics. You got to listen, because she knows that's what I listen to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't get past this fucking voice. So, they was shoving Kevin Gates down my throat a couple years ago. My daughter she's been on Kevin Gates for a while, because she had this app on her phone for mixtapes. So she would get bored with what she was listening to. She'd go in there and just play something to see if she liked it, and she found Gates. So before he got real popular, you know, the rule was when you're in my car, you listen to what I listen to.
Word.
When I'm in your car, I listen to what you listen to. So we were in her car, and her fiance and my son, Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates be
rocking.
Let me tell you, it wasn't until I heard one of his songs at that time off his latest album, which was Isla. And it was hard for her. And I heard him, and it caught me. What he said caught me. I was like, what the fuck did he just say? So, being the person that I am, I went and looked at his lyrics. Oh. So I went and looked at some of his other lyrics. Now I'm a big time Kevin Gates fan. Yeah. So much that I'm going to Michigan in July to go see him perform.
Yeah, his first performance back. Yeah.
Well, actually, he's performing in July. He's performing in May in Houston. Yeah, I think he's performing in May in Houston. But we're going up in July up to, I think it's him and, I can't remember who else is up there. Somebody else. Somebody I don't even listen to, but I'm just going for Gates and going with Baltimore Big Steve. And I think Deezy's coming in from Houston, but we're supposed to be going up and like promoting like on our whole way up to Michigan. Yeah, but yeah, so
I like his interviews too. He got a lot of knowledge.
Let me tell you, when he talks, he tell people all the time. He was like, "Yo, I've done some stuff in my life. Doesn't mean, you know, I'm a bad person. I'm a product of my environment."
Absolutely.
And, you know, I just like him and David Banner. I could sit and listen to David Banner talk all day long.
Absolutely.
I got a chance to meet him last year in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
Yeah, and I met Raheem DeVaughn the same time. Raheem walked into the record store at the same time, and so I got to meet him too. And David Banner's just one of them people that Cadillac on 22s was my shit.
Hell yeah.
And and him doing the beat for Rubber Band Man, you know, everything. And he's always been a constant in my, like I'm a fan of his.
So you know good music. Sure, I know that about you. You definitely know good music.
So I'm like, I could sit and just listen to people talk and kick knowledge, regardless of what the knowledge is. It's an insight into that person. And that's why I said, like, these interviews, when people come in, some people I do know, some people I don't know, some people I'm familiar with, some I'm not. So during the conversation, everybody gets to learn a little bit about the other person.
Absolutely. And
it makes the world a better place. But, so, like, lyrics are important to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And apparently they're important to you as well.
Yeah, that's what lyricism.
So how did you come up with that name?
Well, my father's name, rest in peace, he was Big Rick, and I was Little Rick growing up. Everybody that I knew, everybody he knew was always like, "Yo, that's Little Rick. He looked just like you." So I was his boy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Went everywhere with him. But when I started rapping, I was Lil Rick, and I got more lyrical with my wordplay and just like took rapping more seriously. So I don't remember exactly the day, but I do remember putting CISM, CISM, on the end of Lil Rick, and I silenced a few letters. I was like, take the L out of LIL, take the CK out of Rick, and just Lilrickcism. But just pronounce it, people always gonna look at it and be like, Lilrickcism. I've even been brought on stage to Lilrickcism. Like,
that's what my daughter called you. First time, because she did production for me with my shows. Yeah. And the name, she said, Lilrickcism. I said, his name is Lyricism. She said, but it says Lilrickcism.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if people don't, I got a bio on online as well that explains it too. But it's just, I literally put Cism on the end of Lil Rick, and pronounced it like the word lyricism. And the word lyricism, it means an artist's expression of emotion in an imaginative and beautiful way, the quality of being lyrical. So literally, I took that to heart because that's how
right.
My music. That's how I appreciate lyrics. I appreciate lyricism. So just calling myself that. Yeah, I represent it for sure. Man.
So who is like in your playlist right now? Who do you listen to?
Right now, let me see. Big Crit, Nipsey Hussle, another West Coast artist, G Perico.
Cause you were just out in Cali.
Yeah, I grew up on West Coast music just as much as I grew up on East Coast music. So I always had a love for their underground and major artists. But yeah, I mean, just like Cole, Kendrick, Wale. Right. I like Wale. Wale's very lyrical, very underrated as well. I mean, I listen to pretty much everybody. I don't really bump the mumble rap too much, but all the legends that's still doing their thing. But mainly, I've been bumping Nipsey and Big Crit a lot lately.
Yeah, Nipsey was just here a few weeks ago, I think, and Nipsey's been an artist. He's been, his name's been ringing bells, and it's just it's like all of a sudden people are just like, Nipsey Hussle. I was like,
yeah, I've been rocking the mixtape. Yeah, I've been down since the mixtape.
Like I don't know his music, but I know his name. I know his affiliations and all like that. Because I try to pay attention as much as possible. Like people they'll be talking about hip hop, this, that, and the third, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But do you know who Crucial Conflict is?
Yeah, Crucial Conflict all day long. Look, Crucial Conflict, Do or Die. Because
right.
I spent a lot of time in Chicago, went back in high school, so I know all about that.
And I went to Job Corps. I had graduated high school and everything. My mother was like, it was when I met my children's father and we had broke up and I went crazy. My mom's like, well, either you got one or two options. You can go to the loony bin and get some help, or you can go to Job Corps. I was like, I think I want to go to Job Corps. And I went to an all-female Job Corps. At that time, it was segregated. There was, there was some co-eds, but there was still a lot of, all-male Job Corps. And we were like the only female, all-female. And down in Southwest Virginia. And it was girls from Baltimore. There was girls, because I'm from the Eastern Shore. I'm not from here.
Okay.
So, it was a few people from Delaware. It was Philly girls up there. It was DC girls. It was, then there was some girls from down south. So you bringing all these girls together, and the different kinds of music that we were getting played at our dances and stuff that we had, our little socials that we had. And I had already been listening to Go-Go anyway, because Rare Essence was one of my favorite Go-Go bands. And to see the guys' faces when we had socials that were from the guys were from down in North Carolina and down south. And you see some DC girls working the walls, and they're losing their minds because they're like, what are they doing? Are they going to do this all night? So I got an influx of different types of music from different places. But I've always loved music. I've always had music playing in the household when I was growing up. It wasn't, of course, there wasn't such thing as hip hop for me growing up. Right. But I had a lot of country music. I had rock music. I had 50s, 60s, and 70s music playing. And then the 80s, I was in my teenage years in the 80s. I had the glam bands. I had Poison, and then high school. It's like all the guys that were labeled as stoners and potheads listened to Metallica and Megadeth. Didn't get into that kind of stuff just yet, but I do like Metallica. So I have an influx,
all types of music.
And it's just an influx of music, and it's an influx of different types of people. Like I said, I didn't know what it was like to live in Compton. NWA told me how it was. Absolutely. I didn't know. Gates has his own slang from being down in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Look at the Hot Boys. You know, you gotta peek when videos happen. You gotta peek into the different areas.
Yeah, you did.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I think artists in Baltimore, like we had talked about, like Baltimore doesn't have their own sound. Yes, we do. It's just that a lot of artists don't go that route.
Right.
There are a few who will rap over a club beat. TT the artist, she's one of them. She's done it before. I think she still does it. But Baltimore's sound really is Baltimore club music.
Yeah.
New Jersey's trying to take it right now. They're trying to say it's theirs.
Come on, Jersey. You know what it is.
I have a friend of mine.
What it is,
a friend of mine lives up towards. She lives up in Pennsylvania, but you know you can listen to the Jersey radio stations. And she was like, she Instagrammed and she said, Jersey trying to claim Baltimore club music. But I think a lot of a lot of these artists try to sound like who's on the radio, and my thing has always been you have to be yourself. You have to find your uniqueness in your lane.
Exactly. I don't want nobody to tell me I sound like anybody. I mean, I appreciate it if it's a legendary person they compare me to, but nah, I want people to be like, lyricism sounds like lyricism. Because Cole don't sound like nobody. Kendrick don't sound like nobody but themselves. So
right.
Definitely, I feel you.
That's like I said, K-Mac, when K-Mac spits, he sounds like Jada Kiss, but that's his actual voice. He can't help that, and rest in peace to my man Paco. Paco looked and sounded like Tupac.
Damn.
He didn't try to. He just did. You know, his voice had just the same sound. You know, but when I see artists all the time here in Baltimore, like especially, it's usually the younger ones that are, you know, they come in and they're trying to sound like
they from down south.
Yeah, they you know, it used to be the artists were trying to sound like they were from up in New York, but that's when New York was the popular thing,
right?
You know, like when Dipset, you know, came out or whatever, and everybody was trying to rap like them.
People don't. I mean, people don't know how to find their own sound. They don't know how to be original these days. Like everybody up and coming, and not everybody, but majority of the people that I do listen to that's up and coming, they literally sound like they're from down south. I be like, you from here or from? But I mean,
they even trying to use their own and trying to use the slang from down there.
Yeah, that's another. It's like, come on, bro. We got our own slang. Appreciate your hometown and your slang from here, but. They just trying to get on, you know what I mean? That's the easiest way for them to do it, not being original.
Because I remember when down south was everything was what they say. Did they start with the zones?
Yeah.
The different zones, and then all of a sudden now everybody's like zone this and zone. I was like,
I remember when I first started hearing that zone, I was like, huh? Like I get it, but it's like, nah. You live on this block, you live on this street, like
you live in this zip code.
Yeah, like. Yeah, that zone. Yeah. That's strictly down south.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's just so funny to hear certain things, and I'm like, when they started with the zone this and zone, I was like, since when do we do zones?
Right.
I thought it was like, because at the time I was I lived on Poplar Grove, so that that was 16.
Right.
Nobody was saying zone or anything. It was just like, 16. I'm from 15. That's Park Heights. So when they started with that, I was like, and then I was listening to, I don't know if it was Jeezy, somebody from down in Atlanta, and they were saying, I said, oh, that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
And it's just, when I'm hearing, like I said, most of the artists that I named, like I said, David Banner, Hot Boys, I was one of those fans of the Hot Boys when they first came out because, they was
Truth. They was the truth.
Little Wayne running around and before
I still listen to all that old Wayne. I love old Wayne. I love Wayne period, but old Wayne, The Block Is Hot. What? He was flowing on that shit. That was like real raw, you know what I mean? Like down south.
When I was a ringtone lady, I was also a CD lady.
Yeah.
I made CDs too. But Little Louisiana, all the Little Louisiana, all those the mixtapes, all the mixtapes that he was doing, the dedications, all that, like I had all of those because people were wanting these songs and this song, and I want this ringtone, I want that ringtone, and it was just something about Cash Money back then. Mm-hmm. I was a big No Limit fan too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, Silk the Shocker is not the best rapper in the world, but I still like Silk.
He did his justice.
He just shouldn't have been on too many songs.
Rest in peace, Soulja Slim. Cause I love Soulja Slim music too. He was
let me tell you,
one of the realest out there. C Murder, real big fan of C Murder.
He's still trying to get out.
Yeah.
Oh,
free that man.
Yesterday was Free BG Day because it was Friday. Somebody, please, I need to write his ass. I post up the Free BG Day, and if you look in the caption, it has his actual address at the prison.
Oh, damn.
You can write him.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Fans keep his spirits high, man.
Yeah. So
BG the truth too.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that connection of where I'm gonna be interviewing him when he get out. I'm trying to get it to where I can interview Turk whenever I get a chance, because Baltimore Big Steve and Fatboy DZ have a song with Turk.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Turk used to ride them beats. He used to kill that. When he first got out, I was looking forward to hearing more music from him too. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely a huge fan of Cash Money. Who isn't? How can you hate him? My yesterday I was driving. I had to drive my son up to Pennsylvania so he can go spend the weekend with his daughter. And my daughter, she was playing DJ, so I had to listen to what was on her phone, even though the rule is when you're in my car. But I was using my GPS, so we was listening, and she played the Rick Ross song that was "Dissin' Baby." Oh yeah, on his new album. Yeah. That was a dope record though.
That I'm gonna tell you that I sat and I was driving him and I was listening. I was listening to what he was saying.
It was deep.
Yes.
I was like, damn.
Right. He was like, no, hell with this. I'm just going. I don't even have to rhyme on this bitch. I'm gonna just say what I want to say.
Hell yeah.
But they're actually doing a Hot Boys reunion now.
That's what's up.
Turk's been posting up about it.
The industry need that. We need all the old, not the old, but the legends to just come back and take over the game again. You know what I mean? Like there's no structure.
And I seen somebody had posted up. The legends Eric B and Raheem unite. Ooh, April 18th.
That's what's up.
At Soundstage. I seen that. Oh, Yo-Yo's gonna be there too? Oh, Jesus.
It's gonna be a hell of a show.
And it should be sold out. I'm sorry.
It better be. The God MC.
But, yeah. That's awesome. But I seen somebody post up, and it was the pictures of all the little Skittles kids. I call them Skittles kids because they all look like a bag of Skittles. Think about it. They all got rainbow hair. They got Skittles in their mouth. They just...
Weirdos, man.
And...
Weirdos.
Like I tell people all the time, I used to say that it's not hip hop. That's not hip hop. That's not hip hop. And then I thought about it. Wait a minute, hold up. Like rock and roll has rock and roll, and they got the subgenres. This is our subgenre from hip hop.
I agree. I look at it the same way.
I look
at it the exact same way.
We had gangster rap. A lot of people didn't like the gangster rap.
Conscious rap.
Definitely we got conscious rap, which Ill Conscious is in that.
Oh hell yeah! Shout out to Ill Conscious.
Yes. Yeah. First time I heard him, I was like, "Where he been?
Yeah.
Where he come from?"
Yeah, that boy, he lyrically a monster with it.
Yes.
He's a monster with it.
And then there's different, and then you got this mumble rap that's going on, and you got this this Molly Percocet shit that's going on, the Xanax. And what's killing me is that these kids, I know back when, Uncle Luke and them were having the whole Miami bounce music, which is what it is, Miami bounce music. And people were going before the Senate they need to ban this. They need to do this. And I understood at that time. I mean, I didn't agree with it, of course, because I listened to that music.
Right.
But it's influential. But not to the extent of what this drug music. It's not even. It's drug music. We listen to drug dealer music, but these are drug addicts.
Yeah, drug using music. Yeah, it's very detrimental to the youth. The beats be knocking. But what they saying is like, really, like you like being a crackhead, like you.
Right. And my daughter, when she was in high school, when she went to 10th grade, she did 10th grade over on the Eastern Shore at the high school that her father and I went to, because she went and stayed with her father for a year. And she called me up one day. She said, "Mommy, these kids are over here shooting heroin in high school, white kids." And I was like, wow. She was like, "I've never had to deal with this in Baltimore." She said, maybe smoke some weed,
right,
but never this. And then now the pill popping situation.
How high do you want to be?
I'm just like,
on top of lean and all of that. Like, they pills, lean, and some strong ass weed. Like, nah.
You know, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Uncle Chad, God may he rest in peace. UGK, Pimp C.
Legend.
You know,
rest in peace.
The lean got his ass too.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding, like, and I think what it is like you said, the beats be knocking. They be awesome beats.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody is listening, because they're not even listening to they've dumbed down the music so much. And I've talked to other artists that have said, yeah, I've had to, you know, I've done a couple songs where I went ahead and I dumbed down the lyrics a little bit, you know, and it's just, that was to try and get new fans. And I said, I understand that. They said, but that's not where I'm at. But, you know, sometimes I understand sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. And you're hoping that, you know, if I do this song here that sounds like little whoever's song, then maybe, you know, somebody will listen to it and they'll go and listen to my other stuff, and then maybe, you know. I
was against that for the longest time. I was in such a real hip hop state. I hated listening to them. It was to a point where I was listening to, for a year straight, all I was bumming was 90s music and old Locks mixtapes, because I literally couldn't stand the music that was out, and it had to grow on me. But even when I do remixes over these the mumble rappers beats and stuff, I kill it. I don't dumb down nothing.
Right.
The beat is knocking, so I'm gonna ride that beat.
Right.
You can rhyme over those beats, but you just gotta murder it, just how you do on a soulful beat.
And like I said, a lot of these kids, they're not listening. The kids that are listening to this music and they're saying that this music is this, that, and the third, they don't care about lyrics.
Right.
And even the artists themselves have made this known that they don't care about lyrics.
Right.
You know, when they start doing nobody's listening for conscious lyrics anymore. No, that's because you're not giving because you can't give those lyrics.
Right.
Because you're not in a mindset to be able to do that.
Exactly.
So somebody's throwing money at you because they know, okay, well, I can get this person to do this, that, and the third, because they've got all these Instagram followers, and get them to do this, that, and the third, because they're doing it. The kids are going to say, this is what's hot. My thing is longevity.
Yeah.
What kind of longevity y'all got?
Exactly.
You're dropping like flies as it is. A couple of them done, passed away, and
overdosing, yeah.
So I'm sitting back and I'm looking, and then when I said something about the mumble rap, somebody threw DOS effects in my face.
Why would they?
Because the bum, skitty bum. You know what I mean? Just because you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Right. That ain't no damn bubble rap. Hell no.
And then every time that I say something about, the mumble rap or the music that's being played now, they want to try to go back and say, well, you all had this, that, and the third. Look at how they were dressing. But, okay.
That shit was fly.
You know what I mean?
It was fly. To me, it was fly. Leopard leopard leggings and shit like that. I don't know what they be wearing, man. Colorful dreads, nah. That ain't.
They Skittles kids.
Yeah, I like that one, Skittles kids.
I call them Skittles kids all day long. Because they were like, we were talking about the one little kid, and I said the Skittles kid with all this stuff, and it was like,
6'9".
Yeah. And his interview had like such and such many millions of views with the Breakfast Club because people wanted to see what dumb shit this boy was going to talk about.
Feel you.
And then I felt some kind of way because people were like, well, why are grown 40-year-old men coming at this little kid? This little kid is what, 21, 22, 20, like something like that. He's not a kid.
He's a grown-ass man. And
he'll tell you he's a grown-ass man. Then he acts like a kid. But why are these 40 talking about the game, how the game was coming out?
Yeah.
But people were not understanding where the game was coming from because they don't have that gang mentality.
Absolutely.
I studied gangs because I'm a criminal justice major. I have friends who've been involved in gangs since they were knee-high to a grasshopper. They were born into it. They didn't just like one day wake up and say, I'm going to go join the Crips or I'm going to go join the Bloods.
Right.
They've been a part of this. So I understand how the game felt.
Absolutely. I think if anybody else is speaking on him in a negative light that's not a gang member, then they shouldn't even speak about it. But like, as far as the gangs go, he's representing something that people died and went to jail for.
Right.
And I ain't no Blood or Crips, so I can't speak too much on it. But yeah.
You're one of those people that understood where game was coming from.
Yeah, hell yeah, I grew up around gangs.
Right.
Been around plenty of gangs, but it's a hard road that he's going down. But
he's like, I'm affiliated. Then why are you like, I'm the king of New York? Well, who are you?
I'm surprised New York hasn't spoken out about that.
And I think what it is that same mentality that I've seen on the local scene as well. I'm the type of person that if I don't like you, I don't got nothing to do with you. You stay over there, I'll stay over here. We can exist in the same space, but we don't have to acknowledge one another.
Right.
But if I see something like, that has done something like wrong, like I don't like, this is what I don't like. I don't like for somebody to come to me and be like, yeah, I don't like so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, really? Yeah. And then when so-and-so comes up, oh, hey, I don't like that phony, that fake. And so I speak on it. Nobody speaks on it. They allow it to continuously happen.
Right.
So when you let somebody get away with something for so long, everybody, like, I think with this whole 6ix9ine thing, I think a lot of people are just like, man, he's not gonna be here much longer. He gonna fade out. Ain't nobody paying him no attention. Ain't nobody doing this. Ain't nobody doing that. You're allowing that foolishness to happen.
Right.
So the game was like, hold up, why ain't nobody speaking on this?
Yeah. For real.
Why is nobody speaking on the fact that one day he was repping the Crips, and then now he's saying he's with the Bloods. You set tripping.
You fucking up that. Like, Cali shit ain't no joke.
Right.
Ain't no joke. I mean, New York serious too with it, but yeah, that's the motherland, Cali right there. So literally, that's.
So I spoke on it a couple times, but the whole social media platform. My thing is, I'm a person that I'm going to say we're going to agree to disagree and keep it keep it civil.
Right.
But some people can't do that. They want to keep on arguing. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to give you a different side to look at.
Right.
And you're here to give me a different side to look at. Other than that, I don't want nobody trying to change my mind.
Right.
Because when somebody tries to change my mind, I get real stubborn. So, yeah, then I get real mean. Because that happened yesterday with a girl who got smart with me on Facebook. She called me a dumbass and a bitch. And thank you for calling me a dumbass. You wanted a tattoo. I'm trying to help you out.
Put it in a place real quick.
Because my man Derek Rhodes is he's a tattoo artist. And when I say artist, he's a tattoo artist.
Word.
His portraits look just like the picture.
That's what's up.
He's awesome. And he posts up on Instagram and he shares on Facebook. He really don't share much anything. He has deals or whatever. And the girl asked, she said something about inbox. He said, I don't do inboxes. And I said, call his phone. She said, what, are you his lawyer or something? Da 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 da. Look, I'm just trying to help you out, y'all. Right. You want to find out a price on something. I'm just letting you know. Call his phone. That's why he's got his phone number and email address on the flyer. Well, y'all the only ones I said to do email blah.
Well, now you can go get a little rinky-dink tattoo from somebody else.
So I said, and I do work with him because I make his runs to go get his supplies. I'm supposed to be trying to help him with his, his social media stuff. It's just that trying to get him and me to sit down and get everything planned out because it's hard. And I'm the type of person, I need to know exactly what you want me to do. Because I don't want to do something and be like, I didn't want you to do that. I'd be like, okay. But I was like, I do work with, well, why was your name mentioned? Why wasn't your name mentioned? I said, my name doesn't need to be fucking mentioned, okay?
I feel you.
So here come Derek. He was like, Lisa, don't even worry about it. I'm not even pressed for her, her business. I was like, gotcha. Right. And that was the end of it. Like, but I'm the same person that I'm going to try to help you out. Like, if I see something, I'm going to comment. And like, like I said, I was telling her call his phone because it's just easier for him to hit the talk button while he's working than trying to type, because he's tattooing. Right. So I'm just one of the people. And so when I get on Facebook and I see things, there's so many things I want to talk about, so many things I want to write about. And I'd be like, it's not worth it. I feel you. It's really not worth it. Especially with music, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. I know a little about a lot and because I pay attention. Yeah. So like I said, I sit here and I go, you shouldn't be rapping over your lyrics when you're performing. Well, the sound systems suck and you this, that, and the third.
Excuses. I saw, I'm sure you know who Pete Rock is. Legend. He had posted something a couple weeks ago about rapping over lyrics and I was like, thank you. Legends are speaking up about it because I'm professional.
And I have and when the sound systems suck and this, that, and third, I understand that there's a lot of venues that have sucky ass sound systems, but the good places that had great sound systems, y'all wasn't really supporting. You wasn't supporting. You wasn't, y'all acted like that place was going to be there forever. Or, that you were going to have some... Now where y'all performing at? Tell me that. I barely know of any shows.
Yeah, that's true.
People hit me up about shows, but like, I have no clue. I have no idea. None. I don't know. I used to know, but I don't. Yeah. So nobody's sending me any information about shows. Well, LeVar Hayes is because Comp has got a show coming. Comp's got a show next Saturday at some place I've never heard of. I don't even know where this place is, but I'm so out of the loop. So I don't even know. 5 Seasons been closed. Yeah. Sonar closed down. Turned to Paparazzi. Paparazzi's closed. Yeah. Vanity Rooms are closed. Billy just did a show at Auto Bar. Yeah. Smith & Wesson's coming to Outer Bar.
That's what's up.
Scar Akbar's performing there. So
it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah, I might have to buy a ticket. Yeah. I just might have to buy a ticket and go. But I don't. This younger generation is not performing at shows, right? Because they're getting fame off of YouTube channel. And then when they do get a show, because 92Q says, oh, well, they've got a big following on YouTube, so they're going to, or whatever. Or they got a big following because people are calling in to get their song played on Squirrel and Pork Chop's, time frame that they have at 9 o'clock or whatever. But then when they get out there to perform.
Exactly.
I'm just looking at them.
I don't think they think about if they got an opportunity to open up for people who do stadiums, Kendrick, you know, the big cult followings and stuff, and then you get on there rapping over your lyrics, standing still, not engaging that whole 20-foot stage that you got to walk on. They ain't thinking about that.
They just jumping up and down and having a party.
Absolutely. Like, I'm glad I got all of me years of practice in. You know what I mean? When I do get to them big stages, I'm gonna be ready. For real.
I'm telling, because like, and that's, I mean, because that should be, if this is what you want to do, then that should be your ultimate goal.
Absolutely.
If you could open up for any artist, who would it be? Now I'm talking about you opening up for them. Like, it's you and then it's them coming on right behind you.
Shit, probably Kendrick. I opened up for Redman, but that was a weird event. Like, I opened up at like 8 o'clock. Wasn't nobody really in there.
Right.
A couple other artists came on, and then Redman came and murdered the whole shit. But yeah, it would definitely be Kendrick. Because his fan base, I can relate. My music can relate to his fan base, and I feel like lyrically, yeah, they would feel me.
Right.
They would feel me.
Definitely. Right. That would be a good fit.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you been to a show where it's an artist, a well-known artist, and he's got opening acts, but the opening acts music just doesn't kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I'm not saying like, okay, me personally, the Ja Rule show, I really think that Baltimore Big Steve would have been a good fit for that show because his music is kind of like Ja Rule's in that sense of like, you know, what everybody says, oh, he got chick music. Well, Steve's got some chick music. I thought that he would been a good fit for that show. Yeah. You know, not to say anything against anybody else, but you know, I'm just looking and going, okay.
That's a good way to look at it, though.
You know, I've seen Jadakiss perform.
Nice.
And Redman, of course. And that was at Frozen Harbor. This past year, it was Saigon and Dragon was on the same show.
Nice.
And Dragon, wow.
Yeah, beast with. I seen a few videos where he was on Instagram freestyling. He still got it.
He dropped a mixtape earlier this year.
Okay.
It's on Dat Piff. I got it. I haven't listened to it. Sue me. I don't have a lot of time on my hands to be listening to music because I listen to it in my car. I don't listen because I don't have a stereo or nothing in my house. But people are like, you know, the Ja Rule show was sold out.
Yeah,
it was packed in there. Dragon, and it wasn't. He was like, I don't care. He said, because what's important is y'all that are here. He said, I don't care about nobody who's not here. It's y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere else but here, but you're here. Absolutely. And he talked to the crowd, and he engaged with the crowd, and he told us, like, he talked to us during his set, and it was just, it was so, it didn't matter. It was like, it was so intimate.
Yeah.
But there was a whole bunch of people there. You know, it was people behind me, but it was just so like you could just like have tunnel vision while he was talking, while he was rapping.
It's a good experience.
Right. And, you know, so I look at these shows and be like, wow. Like, I got a chance to see Sean P perform like 3 times.
Wow, Sean P.
Actually, wait a minute, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4 when he was Random Acts.
Damn.
Down at Sonar. He sat in the van while we talked to Smith & Wesson, and I talked to Shucky, and Shucky gave me his phone number and his email address for my homeboy so they could work together or whatever. And Smith & Wesson, we were just all standing there talking, you know, just chit-chatting.
Yeah, that's what's up. Rest in peace, Sean P.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, like, I got to see Sean P perform with Rock as Helter Skelter. He was wearing a Dope Boy hat. Shout out to Ooh, rest in peace. But Sean P was wearing a Dope Boy hat. But I've gotten to see these artists perform.
Legendary show.
You know, I Brand Nubians, I got to see them perform. So I'm seeing how these artists are performing on stage, and I'm looking at them as that people should look at them as a training tool.
Absolutely.
And they're not.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's because nobody's teaching these younger generation or what it is.
I don't think they are. And I don't think the young generation wants to learn. They don't want to learn their hip-hop history. They don't care. They don't get. That's why you've seen so many people down talking Tupac and Biggie and all that stuff. And
but they don't realize if it wasn't for Tupac and Biggie, there's a lot of stuff in this hip-hop that would not be here.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
You know, people. When I ask people like, what was the first hip hop song that you remember, like hearing, and you like, yo, I can do this. Do you remember that song? What song it was? What song it was that you heard?
I think it was what was it? It was a Tupac song. It was off the Strictly for My Niggas album. I'm trying to think of the what's the name of that damn song? I'm a huge Tupac fan, and I only know the name of
it'll come to you.
It was on the Above the Rim soundtrack.
He was awesome in that damn movie. Yeah. He pulled that razor out of his mouth.
Real New York shit right there.
Right. I was like, yo, he gonna cut up his mouth with that. How you gonna cut his mouth up with that?
I was just watching Juice the other day too. That's just a hell of a movie.
Oh, my first hip hop song that I remember hearing was Rapper's Delight.
Word. That's what's up. Rapper's
Delight. And I was sitting there, and I heard it, and I was like, yo, what is this? Because I'm from a white family. You know, listening to country music. My mother sounds like Tammy Wynette when she sings, and you know, my dad's listening to rock and roll. You know, and then this hip hop, hippity hip, the hip hop, don't stop. I was like, oh, what is this? Yeah. And I think it might have been because my aunt who was living with us, and she was like 16 or 17 when she came to live with us, and I'm like a few years younger than her. Probably like 12 years, like maybe 10, 12 years. I can't remember how old she is. But her and my uncle, they live with us. So I think it was because of her that I heard this. And I was like, oh, what is that? And it became one of those songs that was like the beginning for me when it came to hip hop. Yeah. So when people like, you know, hip hop, I'm like, man, Rapper's Delight was the very first one I remember hearing.
Yeah, that's the Strictly for My Niggas album. That was my mom's album. So when I saw that, I was just like, I was real young, of course. So I was just like, you a Tupac fan? She was like, yeah, I'm a hardcore Tupac fan. And I listened to the whole album, and I'm mad that I don't know the name of that song. It's gonna come to me as soon as I get in the car. But yeah, that was actually the album that inspired me as well to rap. Because that was the first album that I heard from him. And I was, I'm so mad I don't remember that song.
Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah. So is there any song you want me to, because you sent me 4 songs, so is there any song that you want me to play first?
Warm Your Soul. That's my that's my first single on Spotify. So that was literally the first song that I've ever put on a major platform like Spotify. Just trying to jump out of the SoundCloud gate. I still put all my music on SoundCloud, but as far as like singles, streaming, and trying to, just really get my music out there is Warm Your Soul. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to listen to this, and we're going to come back, and we're going to continue to talk with Lyricism. Yeah. I didn't realize it was after 7 already. See, I told you we just get talking and talking and talking, but it's informational, it's educational. Absolutely. You learn something. So this is Warm Your Soul by Lyricism. Baltimore Paparazzi, Hard Body Radio in the spotlight, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna go look this up right now.
Yeah, that's killing me. I don't know how I got it. Oh, man.
Let's see. Holla If You Hear Me.
Holla If You Hear Me.
That's the very first song.
Yes. Wait, what's the other ones on there?
Tupac's theme as the interlude. Point Your Finger. Something to Die For is the interlude. Last Word. Soldier's Revenge. Peep Game. Struggling. Guess Who's Back. Representing 93. Keep Your Head Up. Strictly For My Yeah. And the Streets or Death Row. I Get Around. Papa's Song. And 5 Deadly Venoms.
Yeah, it was Holla If You Hear Me. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize that I Get Around and Keep Your Head Up was on the same album. Should have known because it was about the same vibe.
Yeah, that was the one. That was that album right there. Like, how the hell my mama listened to that? She loved it though.
That was his second studio album,
Yep.
1993. Damn, Pac. You know, him and my daughter have the same birthday.
Wow.
Pac is 2 years older than her.
Wow. Good birthday to have right there. Real.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like if him and Biggie had never died.
Yeah, I always wanted that. The game would have been real dope.
Where would music be right now?
Yeah, that's crazy how two people passing away can change the whole music industry. Show you how powerful they were. Yeah, I do all my own. I record all my own music, do all the mixing and stuff. I've been doing that for the last 10 years. I've only been to like 2 or 3 studios in my life. Like I've been to studios just vibing around and smoking and chilling, but literally I just took that time to learn, you know.
That's like me, like I've been to studios, like I sit and I watch what they do. I can't do it. I mean, I probably could, but
it's easy. It's real. I can mix a song in 5 minutes. Well, when you add on the mastering and all the effects and stuff that people want to do, then that takes a little longer. But to get a crisp sound,
yeah, I like that song. That little boom bap.
Yeah,
boom bap.
That new era boom bap.
Right. That's what I've been seeing a lot of that lately. Like a lot of artists posting up about that. Mostly like I said, Ill Conscience.
That boy proud.
Dirt Platoon. I don't care. They still to me whenever I hear them rhyme, it's 90s feel to me, and I love it
all day long.
And them two, because they're brothers, like real life brothers. I've seen them on stage, and I'm like, they get ready to fight. But Raph and Snook are I love both of them. Like they're my hearts. They're my hearts. I absolutely love and adore those guys. But yeah,
you've been putting it down for a long time.
Yes, they're getting ready to go to Europe again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Europe. That's what. Ill Conscious is going over there too.
I think he's going with them.
Okay, word.
Because they've been doing a lot of stuff with Guy Grams as well. I met Guy Grams through battle rap.
Okay.
He was battling when I first met him, and then like the next thing I know was like, I know you. He was at shows and stuff.
Yeah, the UK, they support hip hop for real.
Right.
I have a bunch of producers that I've met through SoundCloud that live in North London, Utrecht, Sweden. They all love and they love that boom bap shit. So that's perfect for Dirt Platoon and Ill Conscious to go over there and do
that's like my friend Bart, who he's a DJ, and his wife actually, she went back to Japan because he told her she wasn't gonna like it over here. So her and their daughter moved back to Japan, and I told him, I said, I told you to begin with, you should have moved over there, that. He was like, I tried to tell her that. She didn't want to listen, but they love hip hop over there. Like whenever he goes, when he was over there, he was just like, he's posting up pictures, like they got like vinyl like displays and at the stores and stuff, and it's just like America is great. But a lot of stuff, like I said, over in Europe, over like Germany. I have a friend that she's from Germany. She lives there, and hip hop. It's the hip hop, not the stuff that we're listening to on the radios now. Right. But they just love hip hop. So I keep telling people all the time, you need to. It's easy now. Like before we were listening to the song, you put it on Spotify. I remember when you couldn't get your music out there like that unless you had a major label deal to get distribution.
Exactly.
You couldn't get your stuff on you know, when Apple came out with iTunes. You could not get your stuff on iTunes without digging deep down into your pockets. It was hard to even get a video on YouTube.
Yeah, it was.
You know, it was so hard for anybody to get out there and be able to do stuff. And then once those gates were open, you get, you know, I remember one of the first times I seen somebody post up, you can get my album on iTunes, Google Play, you can get it on this, that, and the third, blah, blah. I'm like, well, damn, how much did you pay for all that?
Right.
But it's so much easier to do all that now, you know, and like I said, I don't think the younger generation, they don't understand that. Like, the way I describe it is, when I first came in this hip hop scene, 2006, I started going to shows in 2008. It was like we had a dirt road. It was just a dirt road. And then somebody did something. Well, now we got some gravel on that road.
Right.
And then somebody else did something. Now we got a little bit of concrete. Like, it's a little bit harder. And then now it's asphalt. Like, it's smooth sailing now. It's not even Baltimore streets. There ain't no potholes. You know, it's smooth. Like, it's so easy to be able to do the things, you know. It's now with the internet, you know, being as big as it is, you're able to reach out and get those fans from UK. You know, you're able to get those fans from, you know, over in wherever.
I got a fan over in England. I have fans in London, but one specific fan who hit me on Snapchat the other day, and it made me feel real good because she was just like, I love your music. I have all of your music on my phone, and I'd love to see you perform, but I'm in England. And I was like, I gotta get out there. I gotta start, you know, getting different, you know, booking opportunities. But just because I have fans in different states and countries, gotta get out. But that's what I've been working on this year, is putting money into myself and marketing myself a lot better. Because over the years, I'm thinking like, let's just put out another mixtape. Shit's hard, everybody loves it. That's gonna make you blow up right there, and that's the wrong mentality. You gotta market yourself. You gotta pay for sponsoring. You gotta pay put your music on bigger platforms than SoundCloud. So yeah, I've just learned literally to market, and that's what I've been doing all this year, is just trying to build my fan base.
When I first came into the music scene, and I was telling everybody, you are a commodity. You need to market and advertise yourself.
Absolutely.
And I kept telling everybody this, and they just ignored me. Like, you know, like I don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, okay, that's cool. Just letting you know. You're trying to get your music out there. You have to market and advertise your music. Absolutely. That means you have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And
that's why I failed at for years.
You know, and you know, at that time, everybody was just trying to get deals with record labels. They were trying to get in with A&Rs. They were trying to get into these shows where you can get a chance to meet an A&R. But half those shows were janky promoters. So it was, it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So I was like, you need to market and advertise yourself. You need to, at that time I was telling everybody, you need business cards. You need to make a flyer that's got your face on it, your name on it, your contact information, everything. You know, you need to. Bomb did that. My man Bomb did that. He was passing out flyers. I said, even if at the end of the night you see a lot of your flyers on the floor, somebody has got your flyer.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it was because I went to school and I got a certificate in general business, marketing and advertising. So I kind of didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah. You gotta let people learn how.
Kind of knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
so,
I got flyers. I've done flyer runs every year. I go to every college, not every college, but all the popular colleges around the city, and I try to blend in like I'm a student, and I post my stuff all throughout the hallways where they go to sleep, you know, like the bulletin boards and stuff like that, and like on the dorm doors, you know, just like on the outside of it, when they walk in, they can see it. So it's just marketing. I didn't know that. I wish I would have knew that years ago, because I probably would have been further than I am. But now I'm stuck trying to build my fan base, but I know what to do now. Right. And that's market yourself. Spend money.
And you know, like I said, with the internet being like it is, but that's a blessing and a curse because it's oversaturated. Absolutely. You know, with everything. Because you know, I got to the point to where people started adding me on Facebook because of my pictures. And I would tell them, don't add my page.
Oh, I saw you. Yeah, you went on.
Don't add my page. Just go like the Baltimore Paparazzi page. That's where all the pictures are going to be at. If you have videos or music links or whatever, Baltimore Paparazzi is where you put them at. Don't, you know, I'm still getting inboxes from people.
Tagging you and 90 other people in a...
And then every time somebody comments on it, I get notifications. And so I have to go and remove myself from the post.
I do that all the time.
You
I
know,
want to be tagged in your shit.
Well, you know, and it's for you, you're an artist. So you're doing the same thing that person's doing.
Right.
You know, if somebody tags you in their music video, you could take it and be like, okay, well, who shot your video? Because it's, you know, it's a hard video, whatever. Who shot your video? You know, that could be one thing, but... That
was popular back when Facebook first started, but now it's bad marketing. Because you annoy people by doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I had somebody hit me in my inbox on Baltimore Paparazzi, and like last year, and it was a female. I don't know who she is. And it was like, go download this, that, and the third.
They didn't even say, hey, how you doing? Just
So, I didn't say nothing.
Right.
A few months later, she hit me again. Go download my this, that, and the third. Go watch my video, blah, blah, blah. So I let it sit there for a few days. And then I said, you know what? So I said, hi, may I ask why you're contacting me? I thought it was obvious. It's promotion, da-da-da-da-da-da. So I had to stop. Lisa, this is your business. This is, you know, you got to be professional.
Right.
I said, well, the proper way to go about it would be to introduce yourself.
Exactly.
So I would know who you are. I said, that would have been the proper way to go. She's going to say, well, you didn't introduce yourself. I was like, I didn't hit you up. You hit me up telling me to go download blah, blah, blah. So I try to be professional. I really do try to be professional because, like I said before, I'm trying to help people. I had somebody else hit me on IG. Hey, how we get on your show? Who are you?
Right.
I don't even know who you are. So I let it sit there. I found that if I let things sit there and don't go off my first initial reaction, I'm not as smart-mouthed. So I let it sit there for a little bit, for a few days, and then I hit him back. I said, I don't even know exactly what I said, but I was talking about being professional. I said, I try to be professional because I'm in a professional setting as far as my radio show. I said, it would have been better for you to say, hi, my name is such and such. I'm with such and such, or, you know, whatever, whoever you are, whatever. And then I'm inquiring about how to get an interview.
That just goes to show how much people don't know about the industry. Like, that
you
should
know,
come firsthand,
and that's my thing. Just because I'm not 92Q, or, you know, a national radio station, or I'm not the Breakfast Club, that does not mean that you come at me like I'm nobody.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I am. Everybody else says that I am. That's cool. But it's called being professional. Because me personally, I'm not going to want to deal with you if you don't know how to be professional.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to refer you to anybody else that could help you progress to the next step of whatever you want to do.
Right.
And that's what I do. I'm a traffic director. I'm like that cop that's standing there when the lights ain't working, and I'm directing traffic. So that's what I do. Lisa, do you know of a videographer? Lisa, do you know any other radios? I know a lot of people. So what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do?
Be professional about it.
You need to be professional, because I'm not going to send you over here to go and talk to Spielberg about shooting a video when Spielberg's been doing this for years, and you come at him like you straight off the corner. That whole professional, you know, if you don't want me to be professional, I can be not professional. I do it every day on Facebook. That's why I tell people all the time, don't add my Facebook page. Because that's not Baltimore Paparazzi. That's Lisa.
Like, why are we friends?
Right. Look. And that was for an artist. Because he has added me on IG and Facebook, and he does not engage me at all. And he looked at me at a show. Wow. And did not come up to me and say, "Hi, Lisa, how are you?" You know, nothing. Everybody's like, "Oh, maybe he was intimidated. Maybe he intimidated for what?" Come up and say hello. Right. Because you know I'm going to be taking pictures of you when you get on that stage. Exactly. I don't even know if he even seen the pictures that I took of him, because I didn't tag him. I sure didn't. But it's all like, if I'm being professional, I want everybody else to be professional. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, that's getting you prepared. You know, if you feel like this is your hobby, cool. Just let me know it's your hobby. Because I'm not going to invest my time in what I do for you just to be, nah. Be like, oh, you know, I got an opportunity for you to perform, and be like, no.
Take that. Take all opportunities.
You know, I have friends that I have a friend of mine, Bobby Stone. He is in Brooklyn, New York. He throws shows. He throws all kinds of shows. He's doing fashion shows and comedy shows and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I met him down here. He threw a show down here. He brought New York artists down, and there was Baltimore artists. And he's like, I was like, I need to get up there. He's like, I'm waiting on you to come up. I'm like, it's just kind of hard because I don't know New York like that. And,
I've been up there a few times. I love New York.
I love going to Brooklyn. As soon as you step into Brooklyn, it's like you just feel the hip hop. Yeah. You just feel that energy, that hip hop energy. Absolutely. And you know, the first year I was doing shows or going to shows, Bomb was taking me up to New York, up to Brooklyn, while they were, you know, performing and stuff. But I don't know it like that. Yeah, I
did a showcase at Club Pyramid.
Oh yeah, that place is still open.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this was like about 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that Club Pyramid was a club in 2008 that was doing shows up there. That's why I said that place is still open. Because we were at where'd we go? I know in Bed-Stuy we did a place called Sputnik, but it's no longer there. It's probably something else by now. A place called Karma, which was down in the basement of a hookah lounge. We've been there a couple times. That's where the what show was it? Fix Your Face competitions or something, some kind of competition that Premise was a part of, DJ Premise, and it was like down at the Black Hole Club, and then it was up in New York. He had, you know, so there was like New York people coming down here, with Baltimore people going up there.
Black Hole. That was one place I think I started performing after that closed down. Did it close down or did people stop going?
No. It closed down because Chris, who was the owner, they got busted. Thank God it was not a hip hop night. That's all I kept saying. Thank God it wasn't hip hop. It was a rave party and they were selling drugs in there. Wow, and when they busted Chris, the owner, he had like 100 and some plants in his basement at his house, and they ended up tearing down the building. Somebody said, I think Prophet has said that they demolished. The people didn't want us there. Yeah. They didn't want anything there because they causing too much problems. And we never had no fights there. You know, people were loud, they were drunk. Right. So what? County would be out there ready to arrest people because they were drunk. But yeah, I like the Black Hole was one of those places. Like I said, 5 Seasons will always be, that would be home.
Absolutely.
I wish somebody would open it back up.
Yeah, that was where I got my start performing at. Really like learning how to engage the crowd. Learning, you know, just like don't stand still, you know what I mean? Yeah. Rock from side to side on that stage. And literally, yeah, that was that's legendary. Legendary spot right there.
Yeah, so it's just sitting there, and I don't think they've done anything with it. And what the hell? Must have been email. But like I said, Sonar was one of those places. Like I said, everybody touched that stage.
Yeah, I remember when I actually think that was my second show that I did. Remember Tay?
Tay Tay?
Yeah, shout out to Tay. She was my, I think she was my first show. At Penguins in Catonsville. And then,
down the Igloo.
Yeah.
It was cold all the time.
And then we did Sonar. Yep.
Yep. I met her at Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
She's the bartender, and she started throwing shows down there.
Yeah.
And then when she got the job at Sonar, she started throwing shows. She's the one who helped me throw my daughter's 16th birthday party.
Nice.
It was for my daughter's 16th birthday. She had a show, and she picked the lineup. And when I told the people that that my daughter wanted them to perform, they had no problem with it whatsoever. Everybody, it was great. Comp performed for her. Linwood, Savage the Beast, Ogun.
Damn, 16th birthday, nice present.
Yeah,
nice.
It was really she, that was something that she can always remember.
Absolutely.
Always carry with her. So, it was called Let's Go Bonkers. That's what it was called.
I still got my Sonar ticket because I kept all my tickets that I got. Yep. Sonar, wow.
When Billy started, everybody got pictures.
Right.
And it was so tiresome. And it was packed because it was a Wisdom Court event, and they're always packed.
Absolutely.
So, it's like I tell Billy all the time, like, the show at Auto Bar, he stopped doing so many shows. So when he does a show, it's really special. Yeah. It makes you feel special. Mm-hmm. So, I miss the days of looking around and seeing people, other artists, and they're not performing. The homeboy's not performing. They're just there to support the scene. And that's where people get everything mixed up. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's going to support you musically, but everybody should be supporting the scene somehow. Yeah. And making it bigger. I mean, we should be way bigger than what we are.
I agree. We gotta support each other. Everybody wants to be the top dog, and then it's not going to work that way. It's not going to just pulling each other down.
You got Damon Blue out here, making connections with so many different people now. Stars, he was on a 70-city tour with my man Tech 9.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah. That's dope right there. Open up for Tech. He signed? He signed to that label that Gilly signed to. But yeah, he did a tour with Tech 9. I seen that. That's dope.
With Stars?
Yeah, and Test Me, he signed
Free Bands.
Yeah.
But Stars, I did an interview with Stars, and he was getting ready to call Tech because I'm a big Tech fan. Mm. Strange music. I want to go and intern with Travis, who's the CEO. Yeah.
You seen that video Tech posted the other day where he was rapping real fast?
Always.
He killed it.
But I want to go and just intern, and I just want to learn as much as I can from them, because they did this independently. Yeah, they had money. Travis had money to start everything, to back Tech and everything, but they've built it up so big that he's on the fucking Forbes list every year, and independently, like
that's big right there.
And that's why, he was the main reason why I was telling people when I first came in the scene, you can do this independently.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do this independently. You don't need a label.
You got to invest in yourself, and that's where I failed at for years. But I'm learning. You got to invest. It costs money.
Yeah,
it costs money.
You have to make sacrifices, and you have to have a strong team behind you, even if that team is one other person. You can do this as long as you put your mind to it.
Exactly. And that's what I need, but I don't want to just rock with anybody.
Right.
Because I literally do everything by myself, from writing to recording, mixing, and then I'm my own promoter, manager, all that.
You sound like Steve.
Literally.
You sound like Steve, because Steve does all that. Steve always talks about he needs somebody to help him. I was like, but Steve, you won't let nobody help you. I know you, because I'm the same way. And Steve is like one of my kids, so I'm just like, I'm like mama when, I know his mother. And it's funny because he'll say something about his mom and be like, shut up, leave her alone. just leave her alone. But Steve is like, you know, I believe in Steve. You know, I see his grind. You know, he just posted up on IG. I was like, oh, he really is bad. Because he had, you know, he was dealing with some stuff or whatever. You know how life throws shit at you. Like, you know, so you have to kind of like take a few steps back and you have to really, you know, be like, damn, now I got to build all this shit back up. Got to do this, got to do that. So I guess he's back on his shit because I seen a list of places that he's going this year. And I'm like, damn, that means I'm probably going to these places too. Because I take pictures and video and everything for him when I do go. He's the reason I went to Houston and New Orleans twice. Nice. You know, him and Deezy, you know, congratulations. Deezy and his wife just had a little girl yesterday to add to their wonderful family. She's just so beautiful. I can't wait to go spoil her when I get to Houston. But, you know, Steve found, you know, same thing. You know, he was, you know, does stuff. I mean, he doesn't record stuff. He goes to, you know, to the studio or whatever. But he does everything himself. And it's hard. Yeah. It's hard, but
day in and day out, you gotta keep working. Gotta keep going because people gonna forget about you. Especially as an upcoming artist with a struggling fan base, people gonna forget. So you gotta post, you gotta stay in people's ears. Don't oversaturate it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you just gotta market yourself.
Right. So, when was the last time you was on a stage?
The last time was at the Cultural Arts Center with Billy.
Okay.
I've really been focusing on just marketing, getting my music outside of the city, traveling. And when I just got back from LA not too long ago, I took a shit ton of mixtapes out there with me. I was passing them out to everybody that because one of my boys, John, shout out to John, he did all my music videos in the past. He moved out there for music production, not music production, for directing. Mm-hmm. So you know, he connected me with a few people when I was out there. But yeah, I've been chilling on it, performing it out here a lot, just to focus on other areas of the business. But if a show opportunity comes, I'm not gonna turn it down. I'll never be like, no, I'm not gonna perform.
Right.
But yeah, I just been really trying to focus on other areas of the business that I've missed over the years because I've been performing forever.
Right.
But, you know, I wasn't doing anything else other than just performing. So I'm just learning, you know, as I go along. But
yeah, because, you know, keep in touch with Billy because, you know, he's got stuff going on everywhere. I think J Money Hackett just posted up. They're doing a summer jam out in Howard County, where he's from. So they're doing something out there, and then Billy's like doing shows up in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had his little tour. The tour that he just did.
I think he's doing that. I think he's gonna do that again.
He's doing a lot of stuff. A lot of people out here ain't doing. Like, he's really showing like how to move independently. Like I appreciate his help, and
he's one of those people just like Steve. Steve posted up when he posted up about the tour that he's doing or whatever. He was like, "Who's coming?" Mm-hmm. Because he does that because when he was going down to Atlanta, he was going down there to Atlanta to do, I think he was doing a show or doing some promo or whatever. He was like, who wants to come with me? Mm-hmm. Like, inbox me and I'll give you the details, you know, and everything. And nobody hits him up. Nobody goes. Nobody, you know, asks him. So when he was like going to Houston and New Orleans, the first time it was Mardi Gras, I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, and I fell in love with New Orleans.
Yeah, I heard it's beautiful down there.
Houston is big as shit. Like when he told me, he was like, "Yeah, Deezy said that when you put in GPS the address to where you're going from where you're at, it's going to take you about an hour." I was like, "Nah, man." It took us about an hour to get from the airport to Deezy's house. It took us about an hour to get from Deezy's house to the hotel because we spent the first night at Deezy's house, and then we went to the hotel the next day. You get it's just big.
What was it? The South by Southwest side?
No, but that's where Deezy lives at.
Okay.
So what we did was we flew into Houston. It was cheaper to fly into Houston, rent a car, and drive to New Orleans. Okay. Because it's only 5 hours away. Okay. Yeah, I did that drive. I drove that.
You saying 5 like it's easy.
Yeah. Well, I say that because I used to live down in Southwest Virginia, and I used to drive home, and it's about 7 hours. Ooh. And then when I had my daughter and my daughter's father, and he has a small bladder, and he had to pee every time we turn around, it would take us a whole. Like, look, I make this trip. I stop for gas. I fill up before I leave Bristol. Mm. I stop about halfway, fill up again, and I go home. I don't do all this stopping every time you turn around. Yeah. I just go. And that's how I got a speeding ticket for almost $200 in June. Because I was just going.
Right.
We drove down to Houston that time. I don't ever want to do that shit again.
Yeah, I think the longest ride I've ever... Actually, I've done a few of them. Drove to Chicago.
Wow.
Drove to Maine last year.
Wow.
And then when I was young, like early 20s, I'm saying it like I'm in my 50s or something. When I was about 5 years ago, I drove to Cali with my boy John that lives out there now. We drove him out there to go to school for directing, and that was the craziest drive ever.
I bet.
We smoked the whole. I don't know how we didn't get pulled over because literally smoked all day long every day in that car, and drove through the whole Midwest to get there. It was beautiful, beautiful. I took pictures along the way. So yeah, that was. But nah, I can't do long drives at all.
I really can't either. You know.
I hate driving to Ocean City. I can't be in the car that long.
And when he said we was going to drive there, I was like, Jesus. It probably wouldn't have been too bad. I mean, it was some other shit that happened or whatever. But me, I just get in the car and I just want to drive.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to stop unless it's to get gas. I don't want to have to stop multiple times to go to the bathroom. You know, and and I'm older. And I have a weak bladder, and I take blood pressure medication, but I didn't take it, because I was not stopped. Because every hour, oh hell no, right? I'm not gonna do that, no. So we're gonna play another song here. We got what you want to play now?
Pull Up.
Okay. You know what? The guy that I had here last week, whatever. He's got a song, and it's called Pull Up.
Okay.
And I was like. When I heard the beat in off for his song, I was like, oh, okay. So what is your song Pull Up about?
It's basically, I just actually shot a music video for it out in Cali as well. It's just one of them turn up songs, man. Okay. Pull up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, you already know I gotta come with the the lyric on it, with the lyrics on it. But yeah, Pull Up.
All right. Well, this is Pull Up. By Lilrickcism, Baltimore Paparazzi in the spotlight on Baltimore. Yeah, they're gonna kick my ass on Hard Body Radio. Get ready to talk about Baltimore Paparazzi Radio. Yeah, that was a possibility at one time. But yeah, Hard Body Radio. So we're gonna listen to this when we come back. Yeah, let me know what y'all think of this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, he got a song called Pull Up. He was like, in my frame of mind when I wrote it, it was like, yeah, whatever, pull up. I was like, okay.
Nah, this was just basically, man, just one of them, you ride to it, you know what I mean? Ride to it and enjoy the beat. I'm just talking my shit on there. It ain't nothing specific though. It ain't pull up on no fighting shit.
Oh, his was.
This pull up, this is vibe out. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Street Scott in here, and we were talking, and Drag was sitting right there, and we were talking, and I said something, because I just be saying things off the top of my head, and he was like, Lisa probably got EP in her head, she probably spitting bars. I was like, oh, and I said something, he was like, bars, and I was like, dying laughing. So they done said I got an EP in my head. So then I was talking about you ever see that Saturday Night Live skit with Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken when they were in the studio, and they was like Blue Oyster Cult, and they had the cowbell. It was like, we need more cowbell. So that's an ongoing little thing between me and Mistress Beats. And so I was listening to the radio when I went to go pick my daughter up one night, and it was a 70s song, and it was called Mississippi Queen. And in the beginning, you could hear the cowbell, and throughout the song, I'm hearing the cowbell. So I said something to her about it, and she was like, yo, Lisa, I bet you can make beats. I said, okay, I got straight over here talking about I got EP in my head. You tell me I can make beats.
I mean, you've been around it forever. You probably hit her with some bars. I know you got it.
I was like, oh, that shit's crazy. I'm gonna let this next one play.
What's that, Smoke Sesh? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a joint right there.
But I was like, oh, she's like, you probably. I was like, you know what? I probably could, because I was sitting at
Is that it?
Wow. Oh no. My bad. That was Burn Everything. That was Team Cremate. I'll get when I get back on the radio. I'll be like, yo, Team Cremate really wanted to be played tonight. I forgot somebody has made it so it randomizes, and I can't figure out how to stop it.
Is it on one of the presets down there? Like,
yeah, it's something down here. Somebody that hit something, and I hate that shit. I think I'm the only one who plays music anyway.
Yeah, I love this one right here. This on the new mixtape.
But yeah, like, you could make a beat. And I was like, oh, I was at the Crown Awards one time, and they always had a producers battle. So I'm sitting on the stage at 5 Seasons, and he's on the other side of the stage. So they're playing the guy's beat, and they turn off. He's like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, it didn't even drop yet. I was like, God damn, how long does it take to drop? So they bring it back, and I'm sitting there, I'm going, it's supposed to drop right there. Right. Oh, Lisa, see, even Lisa knows it's supposed to drop right there. Like, long ass intro. What the fuck does that?
That build up.
It wasn't even that type of beat to be building up to. I pay attention, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, music is life for me.
Yeah, me too. I feel you.
Like you know Kevin Gates' song "Told Me," where in the hook is talking about painkillers in my cup. I posted the hook one day, and I logged off because that was my mindset. Like, I'm just having a bad day. That song was how I was feeling. Oh, Lisa, it's not worth it. Don't. They thought I was going to kill myself. It's like, so I told my homegirl, I said, can you go in there and write? Because she hit me up. She's like, Tater G posted a damn big long ass paragraph. The dude I used to talk to, he commented on there too. I said, can you tell me it's a Kevin Gates song, please? It's not like it was the first time I posted. I post it all the time. It's my favorite song.
Yeah, Kevin Gates the truth.
I can relate to like a lot of this stuff. I can really relate. Can't relate to the lean and all that shit, but I can relate.
Yeah. They did him dirty with that jail time. They did him real dirty. I was like, damn. Like, what they do? Same with me. Petty ass little thing they do. 2, 3. It's fucked up. It's real fucked up.
What? Okay, y'all. I gave you 2, and Team Cremate wanted to jump in there. Y'all heard that, right? That was trying to burn everything, but it kind of like Burn Everything, Smoke Sesh, just saying, yeah. But what I'm liking is the fact that your music it's different.
Yeah.
Like, those 3 songs that I just played up were different from each other.
That's why I sent it to you. I take pride in doing that. I actually learned from myself, really, just to branch out and be different. Because my first mixtape, The Journey, I dropped in like 2009. I was strictly hardcore hip hop. Mm-hmm. Strictly shoot 'em up, bang bang, like hardcore hip hop, real to the bone lyrics. And then I was like, you're only gonna attract one type of crowd with that. And my second jump right into my second mixtape. I was on a house beat, a pop beat. I think I remixed the Usher beat on. It was like. I think it was like Love in the Club, something like that. One of them. But yeah, I just learned how to branch out and be different. So every single mixtape that I do, I always have a pop beat on there. I always have a R&B beat, something for everybody. But I just bring it the lyricism way. So I've definitely just learned.
Big man, what's up? Skipper the dugout dog. Yeah, Skip.
Yeah, I feel.
Alright, what's going on, Skip?
Cool, man.
What's going on?
What's your ass out of here?
I don't know. You just chilling. Why? You trying to jump in here? You trying to jump in my seat?
I might hop in there later.
He always. Oh, yeah, you have one.
Yeah, that's my new mixtape, bro. Lyricism Volume 5.
I ain't seen you perform in a minute. I don't go to shows.
Yeah. What shows are there, Skip? What shows?
Yeah.
I was laughing at that whole trash the other day.
What trash?
They was talking about OGs and here you go that. I want to hop on your post. That's not gonna be nice. I was gonna hop on post. Tell you don't waste your money.
And that's you. Oh, the post that I was talking about.
I think like the OG show. I want to hop and say don't waste your money. Don't waste your money.
No, I was talking. No, what post?
Tell all OGs they can come around this goddamn show with you. They can freestyle all the fuck they want.
I wanted to throw. I wanted to do an experiment. I wanted to throw a show with them people that say, "Oh, I don't sell tickets. I don't sell tickets." To the people that
To piggyback off of that, right? That's kind of how I said. If I was to do anything like a show, I would want to do something like that. I don't want a 10. Give me 3. Mm-hmm. Who we want 1 hit, 2 opens. That way we don't have to play music the whole night. Mm-hmm. Let the opener go on, about 10 minutes. And let the DJ rock out for maybe half hour or so. Let the next one go on, and then you give that main person about 20 minutes or so. You know what I'm saying? But niggas not entertaining. Half the problem is everybody wants to be real, but not entertaining.
Right. But that was my whole
not cutting it.
Yeah.
My whole thing was like, I seen a post that was floating around. Actually, I was told about a post that was floating around, and then I see some other people commenting about the post. And, for me, it's a fine line between being confident and being cocky. Right. It's just a fine line. And like when my friend was like telling me about the post, and she was like, "Who the fuck are they?" And I was like, she's like, "I've never heard their names before." They was talking about being the best performers in Baltimore City, and and it just going on and on and on. And I was just like, I know who they are. And everything, but that's kind of like you're saying you're the best performer, but who are you comparing yourself to? Because I want to know who are you really throwing shots at? Because I've seen people kill stage right, and have new fans come up to them and buy their merchandise, right then and there. I don't know. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I'm just saying.
You gotta let the people give you that time.
It's just it's a thing between being cocky and confident. And, I sit back and I just laugh at a lot of people. I'll be like, See, and how Skip said he wanted to come on my post, but he didn't. Yeah. I be doing that a whole hell of a lot. I be like, I would have. You know what?
Yeah, I got a podcast and I was saving that conversation for my You said it for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Did I see you post up something about when somebody come on there and talk about child support?
Yeah, I had a guy inbox me, right? He's like, I want to come on your podcast and talk about child support. Hey. No problem, sir. So I know that's going to make the women.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
And then I say, you know what? I feel like I'm going to have a woman come on. So have him. I say, nah.
You don't want me on there.
By himself. Yeah. But then have all anger at his post. Then have one of the women come on after that to get the rebuttal show.
Real controversial.
You don't want me on that show about child support.
Oh yeah, I love
No, because my children's father only paid 130.
I'm on child support for my oldest.
Hold up.
And I've been on like my whole life.
$132 a month. That's all he ever paid each month. Now it was for both of my kids.
I gotta pay $250 a check.
So that's what I'm saying. I never had it modified. All I wanted him to do was be a father to his children. When I say, hey, your kids need this, your kids need that, that's all I wanted you to do. And it was nothing outrageous. Like,
right.
And most of the time he didn't even do it anyway. But come summertime, my son went over there. He had my son all summer. I just want him to be a father.
Right.
That check didn't mean shit to me. That check, when they got cell phones, that shit went to go pay for their cell phone bills most of the time. That wasn't even enough gas money for me, because he had the kids every other weekend. That was our agreement. Like, I never went for a modification. Like, when these bitches said, yeah, because this, that, or third, he need to pay me my money. Bitch, let me tell you something. I got $132. No, $136 because it was 68 and 68. $136 a month. Wasn't even getting that at first because he's got 2 older kids. But I never went for a modification. I never asked for no more money. When those kids said, Ma, can I have? I'd be like, call your father. Because I'm putting a roof over your head, putting food in your stomach, putting clothes on your back. So anything extra, you need to holler. And every payday, he was sending them $50. He would send $150 this payday, $150 the next payday. And that's how it's still, even to this day, he's still, well, not right now because, he's got cancer. We found out he's got cancer. So, but, yeah, so he don't want me on there because I be siding with the dudes half the time. Because I know I've seen it, and I think it's a trap. Like, the whole system is a trap. But anyway, so... He was like, oh, let's go get on your post. I told Skipper, be like, I'm going to get on your post. No, you're not. Stay off my post, Skipper. But, me and Skipper, we've sat down and had conversations about a whole lot of stuff. He's a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout
good dude. He's our big boss. I don't get to see him very often. But, yeah. But back to the music. But, yeah, like, I like the fact that, like, I like hearing different types of music, because some artists get into that single-minded lane,
right,
and they don't do anything different. I used to tell people all the time, when you put out a project, you had to put out a project that's got stuff on there for different people,
right? Because
like my example is always this: a guy gets in the car, he puts in your CD, and the girl looks up and be like, "Why we got to listen to this?" Da, 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 da. Well, then that next song comes on, it's kind of like a chick song. You'll be like, wait a minute, hold up.
Right.
Now she's a fan.
Right. Absolutely.
So you have to be able to touch different people. And I don't call it selling out, because if your lyrical content is keeping it true to yourself,
exactly,
that beat is just something different.
Exactly why, like, when I did Pull Up, and when I do beats like that, I still ride it the same way, lyrically, still try to, I don't want to rhyme party with Bacardi, because that's going to come next. You know what I'm saying? I try to be different with everything.
I hate being able to know what the next, what the word's going to be, because it's crazy to me. I don't know if you've listened to anybody, any of the newer people or whatever. I was at a show, and somebody, like, everybody just, like, loves him, whatever. It's cool. That's cool. He's all right. I'm not going to say... But I'm listening to his lyrics, and I'm hearing the words, a whole bar, like, from a song from somebody else, like an industry song. And I'm like, is he paying homage, or is he just taking it? Because I don't know. Like, have you ever listened to music and heard lyrics from somebody, like another artist, and you'd be like, wait a minute, that sounded familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard there's 2 ways you can do it. You can pay homage, right, by dropping a line, or you could just blatantly steal the shit.
Right. And for me, paying homage is, starting off like Tupac said, da 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 da, like Biggie said, da da da. That, to me, that's paying homage. But not putting the artist's name in there somehow, some way, or whatever, or, I don't know. I felt some kind of way about it. I was mad as shit, because I was like, yo, you didn't even write your own shit. You just took somebody's other shit and put it in there.
Right. I feel you.
I'm confused, but you know, and I'm not sure if that's just something that's going on now. You know, somebody was like, well, you know, there's only so many ways you can do this or that. No, you better come up, figure out a way.
Use your mind.
Stephen Colbert the other night was talking about somebody from Texas, a senator or whatever, and he did one of his commercials. It was supposed to be funny, but it was him singing. He was rhyming, you know, he was supposed to be rhyming. So Stephen Colbert was like, you couldn't find another word to rhyme with that. And so Stephen Colbert started with these, you know, different rhymes. He said, you can go on rhymesomething.com. I was just like, yo, maybe some of these rappers need to do this. For real. Because I'm tired of them.
Shit.
Right. They rhyming man with man. Like when Nicki Minaj did China, you know, she rhymed China with China with China with China. I know what she was trying to do, you know, but that was still stupid.
Yeah.
For me, it was stupid. But
lyrics are big with me. Lyrical content. You gotta come with them bars. For real.
Have you seen the video where it's the beats playing and they got a Dr. Seuss book and they're reading the Dr. Seuss book to the beat?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said this about Lil Wayne years ago. I was like, Lil Wayne could rhyme Dr. Seuss and somebody would say, yo, did you hear what he just said? That was the hardest shit. And I'll be like, it was Dr. Seuss, yo.
Right.
Yeah, like lyrics mean nothing. My thing has always been, if I can close my eyes and listen to your song and play a video in my head,
yeah, that's dope.
That's a good song.
I do the same thing.
I like stories.
Yeah.
I like to be able for you to make a story, and I can make a video in my own head without you making a video. If I do that with this music that's playing now, I will go into convulsions like I have epilepsy.
I feel you. You don't know what to think. Like, yeah.
I mean, Designer was bad enough because you could never understand what Designer was saying.
I can't stand Designer. To be honest with you, I can't. The Panda was rocking, but just the antics, all like the monkey sounds and shit. It's like, why? Like, what are you?
Right.
It's never that serious. I don't. Nah. Panda was jumping though. When you hear it in the club, you turned up.
But see, and that again, is that the words? Is that just the beat?
No, always the beat.
Right.
Especially just the beat.
The only words I ever knew for that song was "I got broads in Atlanta," and then Panda.
Yeah.
That's the only words I knew of that song. You know, my ex one day we were sitting around, him, his best friend, and me, and we just sitting there, and for whatever reason, he's like, I woke up like this. Panda. I was like, what the hell?
I don't even try anymore.
I was like, what the hell are you talking? Like he was just goofing around, and he was just like Panda.
You know who I feel bad for? The engineers, because they got to sit there and mix that shit and re-listen to it over and over and over again, and they're doing it from scratch. They got the raw part before the mixing comes on.
Right.
They got to sit there and listen to these people in the studio with these dumbass ad libs, skirt, all that stuff like.
Somebody was just talking about the whole skirt. Marlon Wayans touched on it in his Netflix special, Wokish.
Oh yeah.
He said he thought his son had Tourette's or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You know,
I watched it in Cali. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, and it's pretty bad, you know. And it's, you know, I hear it all the time about, oh, well, you know, you just stuck in the 90s. And no, I am. Musically, I like 90s and 2000. Absolutely. But then again, Kevin Gates is, like, I'm patiently waiting for Kevin Gates to drop something. And he's working from what I understand. But he doesn't want to drop something just because he's dropping something. Right. Because everybody wants him to. So he wants to make it good. And I understand that. Fire. Yeah, I know he's got a lot to talk about, but there's artists that are making music that are not going that route, right. And it is a gimmick. All the stuff that these kids are doing are gimmicks for people to talk about them, for people to listen to their music. Oh yeah, so and so, his music is this, that, and third. I'm sorry, I can't get past that.
It makes me question their manhood. I don't need the gimmick. Like, why do all of that just for attention, just for fame?
It's
crazy.
Huh? Just my phone chargers that I'm using. 3D was looking for a charger earlier, I think. But but you know, somebody was like, you know, people get, you know, they try to get famous off the gimmicks, you know, and like I said, people are always mentioning, like when I say something, people always want to mention something from, you know, well, Vanilla Ice was a gimmick. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I've thought about when Vine first came out, I did a few like little funny comedy videos on there just because I was trying to figure out more ways to build a fan base, and I was like, you know what, people are gonna follow me just based off that. Like, they know they're gonna find out that I rap, but then they're gonna keep looking for funny shit. Right. So it's like, I don't want to be the gimmick guy. Take me as lyricism, and you know, appreciate me as that. So just market myself as that. Right. But it'll be easy for me to go out there in the daytime, wear a Spider-Man outfit, and start and do a bunch of crazy shit and get a big following off of that. But then it's all gimmicks. People, they're not gonna take you serious as a man or as an artist. Right.
And like I said, like for me personally, like I said, I like music that it tells me something. And you know, like I said, the beats, I've taken like songs that I've liked, but I didn't like somebody had to do it. I didn't like the words. But what I did like is I did like the beat, and I went and found the instrumental. Right. And I just listened to the instrumental. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's, you know, that's just me. You know, I you know, everybody likes with, you know, like I said, the little Skittles boy or whatever, you know, oh, his music, is it really his music, or is it that producer's beat that the producer made?
Beats be knocking.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, it gets everybody turned up in the club, this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. That's just not my music, and I'm not gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I feel it.
You know, so that's why, like I said, when I try to have somebody throw it down my throat, that, you know, oh yeah, you need it. No, I don't need to. No, I don't need to. That's like me trying to tell you, well, you need to listen to this over here. But you don't, you know, well then, you know, I saw somebody, well, you need to listen to Metallica's Enter Sandman. That's a hard ass song. You need to listen to that. You need to listen. That beat is a hard ass beat. Then, yeah. And they'd be like, but I don't like that kind of music. Okay, well, I don't like that kind of music. Point blank period.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But, so, well, you said you're trying to like market and advertise and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
focusing solely on that because I failed at that for years and I didn't realize that's what I needed.
But you didn't have really anybody to like quote unquote mentor you either.
I never have. I've had people come in. Shout out to Billy. You know, he was a huge mentor as far as performing and getting my brand out there and realizing that I had to get on stage and sell tickets. You know what I mean? Of course, you all day long. Before Billy, it was you. So. But yeah, I never had anybody to really like sit down and mentor me. And I wasn't looking for it. I've always been independent. I'm a man about mine, so I always wanted to just go and do it. And it would be nice to have a team and to have like some, you know, people that's down for me and that's down and see my vision and appreciate my grind. But you know, it's a hard road. But I ain't giving up though. It's what I've been born to do. I've been rhyming since the 6th grade.
Right.
I can't stop.
And like I said, you've had opportunities that a lot of these artists haven't had, and that's to be able to grace that Ram's Head stage.
Yeah,
I remember how proud and how happy you were, because I think your family was your brother was there or somebody.
My older brother, the one that taught me how to rap. Yeah, he was there, and then I brought out like 70 people. Right. That was real. Yeah, that was real dope. It was a special moment. I was still beginning stages of me performing. But if I'd have went there now, I probably would have murdered it a lot better. But that was just my foot in the door at Ram's Head. Yeah, because like I said, a lot of people can't say that they graced that stage. So I was happy when Billy was like, I'm gonna put him on the stage. I was like, yes, that's awesome. Absolutely. Like, yes, that was a blessing performing there for real.
Right, like I said, my show, that's what it was. It was a stepping stone. Like a lot of people got to be able to grace stages because of, you know, like I said, Billy, we used my show as a stepping stone to get onto Wisdom Court shows. And, you know, I've had people still to this day ask me, when you going to start shows back up? If I can find a venue, I probably, you know, that wasn't trying to rape my pockets and everything. Because there's really hardly any place for anybody to perform.
That's true.
You know, and a lot of the older people, they don't need to perform in Baltimore. They've done that. They've done that. Like, it's time to go out and you know, go other places.
Exactly.
Some of them just don't do it.
That's why I've been hitting I've been emailing a lot of big venues in like DC, New York, and trying to get on festivals, because that's the route. That's the wave right now. Festivals are really popping. Just to get my name on a bill to open up, even if you know I don't make a bunch of fans, just getting on that platform.
Right.
You know what I mean? Marketing, promoting myself while I'm down at those festivals. That's really what I'm trying to get on, is just get out of here. But yeah, I would definitely, like I said, I'll never turn down a show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you answering whoever that is in that inbox? Okay, because I keep getting dig.
Actually, somebody working with Baltimore trying to get an interview.
Oh, okay.
And I'm telling him last night, he's about the only legend that we haven't had ever interviewed.
Word.
I think we had everybody. Tim Trees, Mully Man, Pooley.
Damn, that's what's up.
You know?
I had Scar.
You had Scar. Hey. All right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Word.
This guy here, though, he's been a weakness.
Travis.
Shout out to all of them. They definitely put on.
I mean, and it's like I said, like a lot of people, a lot of the like younger, you know, they don't know the history. They don't care about the history. They don't understand, you know, none of that. I like to know history.
Yeah, me too.
And I like to know where, you know, how far everything has come. Because like I said, there was a time when you couldn't even get your music
right
on the internet. We had the internet, but we couldn't get on the internet.
Exactly.
Shoot.
Real.
I'm distracted by the conversation that's going on in this inbox. But let everybody know where they can hear your music, find you, follow you, whatever.
Well, it's spelled Lilrickcism, pronounced Lilrickcism. You can find me literally everywhere online, Instagram, YouTube, DatPiff, Spotify. Make sure I covered it all as far as the music.
They can actually Google you because you're the only one.
I almost sound cliche and say Google me, but literally, I'm the only one that will pop up on there. And that's where you can find. I just dropped a new mixtape, Lilrickcism Volume 5 on DatPiff.
Oh yeah.
Just dropped the.
Can you see this? Can y'all see this? Yeah.
And I just dropped a new single on Spotify called Warm Your Soul. And I'm dropping remix. I dropped the God's Plan remix on YouTube and SoundCloud. And for the rest of this year, I'm going to just keep dropping remixes throughout the summer. And then fall, I'm going to hit it with another mixtape. That's going to be like my 7th mixtape. So I'm just keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. But yeah, my music's everywhere, though.
That's
and got a lot of music for people to catch up on that ain't heard my shit. Like I've been putting it out since 2009. Right. So it was mixtapes and songs, just random songs on YouTube. It's just I got a lot of stuff out.
Got a big catalog going on.
Real.
Well, and that's important too. Like I said, when you're marketing, you know, trying to market and advertise, and you know, I thank you for coming. Like, I mean, this was probably long overdue.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you ever did for me, for real.
You know, I just had somebody, they were having a hip-hop remember when kind of thing on Facebook the other day. And I was like, well, I blame Bomb for bringing me in this. I blame this person for this. I blame this person for that. I said, when I say blame, you know, I'm thanking them. They're the reason why I'm here, why I'm doing all this.
You know you're a legend, right?
No.
You know you're a legend.
No. And Linwood got on the post and he said, I blame you for me taking pictures. One of his songs that he wrote and used to perform, and I love this song. And he was like, "You're the reason why I wrote that song." Wow. He said because my photos of me performing went from like 150 to like 1,000 plus. He said because of you taking pictures of me, and he wrote that song because I was taking pictures of him at these shows. So, I mean, I'm glad I can inspire somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
But yeah, so, like I said, I thank you for coming through. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you on the stage again.
Yeah, I gotta get back on it. I get back on it for sure.
Like I said, you know, you came through and did that show, the In the Spotlight show for me. I was just like so impressed. I was like, he's like, I need more tickets. I was like, what? I need like 10 more tickets. And then you get there, like, can I have like 3 more tickets? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had to.
But that just goes to show you, like, people were really wanting to come and see you perform. So
definitely,
you know, fans, family, you know, whoever, it didn't matter. They were there to see you, and I, you know, like I said, my shows, I always had a good time. I was stressed out, but I always ended up having a good time. I'm taking pictures and I'm handling this, I'm handling that, but everybody got pictures and it was always packed. And Solomon always loved it, because that meant he was making money at that bar.
Absolutely.
I missed them wings and fries. Skipper, you missed them wings and fries?
Huh?
The 5 Seasons wings and fries. Did you ever eat those?
Yeah, they was
I miss those. Like,
I didn't really, you know, back then I was a bigger skip, so I would make sure I was taking care before I get It's funny though, man, how that man, as soon as that man went and renovated the club, got looking nicer.
They wouldn't give him an extended lease. They wouldn't give him an extended lease. That's why because he went to the people that owned the plot.
It wasn't a thug show. All the thugs threw shows. All the gangsters that threw shows.
It was a free show, and there was only like 10 people left in the building. And it was only like 10 people left in the building.
Wow. And that guy, I met that guy before.
Mamu?
That guy.
Mamu
on North and Linden at the liquor store. He just came home. And this is me being Skip on my promoting hard body shit, right? He was talking to somebody. I said, oh, you rap? And then run it down. Now, he just came home from jail. Wintertime snow. That nigga came from West Baltimore, East Baltimore to drop his motherfucking CD off to me, though. Man. Snow. Didn't know him from. I met the man one time, told him, ran all my shit down to him, told me what it was, gave him a car. Next thing you know, about a week later, he pulled up East Baltimore with a goddamn CD. And then I hear about his name maybe like 2 more times. I said, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a free show. It was free to get in.
He got killed inside, right?
Well, he was still alive.
Okay.
He was still alive when he went to the hospital. He ended up dying at the hospital. Damn. They were talking to him. In 5 Seasons, it happened in the bathroom. Okay. It was some street shit, some shit that had happened. You know, like Skip said, Mamu had just came home, just a few weeks before that show, I believe. Damn. And he had gotten up on stage and he was performing with somebody, and then like Eddie told me there was like maybe 10 people left in the building when everything happened in the bathroom and they was stomping him or whatever. But they were talking to him. They had pulled him out into the, you know, into the building or whatever from the bathroom, and they were talking to him. He was sitting up talking, and then they took him to the hospital and he died. I know, that's what I have. Don't get me lying. You know I'm only here on Saturday. You better ask 3D. But yeah. So they need to put that out there because I'm still doing my show. And you shut that door, please.
I got it.
All right, thank you.
I got that shit from the bathroom.
See, I cannot with Skip, y'all.
Look, I got to test this.
Look. Can I taste chemicals?
And I ain't even no pearl like big. I drink easy.
I drink spring water. I can't drink that purified shit.
Shit, you better drink that Fiji shit.
Yeah.
Fiji and what's the Avion?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now I drink a deer park just cause I didn't know better. That shit tastes good, but I was fucked up when I heard the deer park. Why we weren't supposed to drink that shit? I was mad about that.
But yeah. So after that happened, what happened was Solomon had to go to the liquor board. They brought him to the liquor board. He didn't tell nobody. See, if he had told us he had to go to the liquor board, I'm sure that a lot of us that have thrown shows there and everything would have came and helped, been there for him. Yeah. The police got up there and lied and said, "Oh, we always have to be here in the parking lot because something is always going on at the club." I was like, "You little fat asses are at the damn carryout or Dunkin' Donuts when it was open 24 hours."
Most had that hookah lounge that came in. Goddamn
right. Damn hookah lounge when it came there. I was like, cause somebody broke the glass and punched. Like it was a mess. Damn. But so he got 30 days suspended. That was it. 30 days suspended for his. But he couldn't sell any alcohol. So who's gonna throw a show when you can't have any alcohol?
Right.
So he kind of put him in a bind or whatever, and then he went to go get sign his lease. He wanted an extended lease, and God wouldn't do it. So he had a closed shop. And he had did all kinds of stuff. It was nice in there.
I'm glad I had a chance to get there, perform there a lot too. That was a dope spot.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this last song and we'll be out of here. Next Saturday I have Queen Fiend. She's coming in for her own personal interview. I did an interview with her when she was with MAM Records. And it was...
Hey, shout out to MAM Records, yeah.
It was Jay McGraw, her, and Blizzard, and Taz Spitter. They're all no longer with Jay right now. Jay's... I think he's kind of like starting over. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was at the Billy Live show I performed at. He performed there. And he used to throw shows too. I performed at a few of his shows.
Yep, so Queen Fiend's going to come through next week. I'm supposed to be doing a special interview next week, so stay tuned for that information. It was presented to me today, so hopefully I can get that solidified. And so thank you all for tuning in, for watching, all that stuff, everything. YouTube, Facebook Live, the radio app. Or the website, whichever one people are listening to. So, so I will see y'all next Saturday. And, I got to get some I'm booked up until June, so I can't, I got one May date that's empty, but, I stay booked up. So,
busy lady.
So, this is, Still Alive.
Yes. Real hip hop is still alive. That's the message in the song. Just letting people know that the underground is where it's at. You know what I mean? And if they get tired of the mainstream, always remember real hip hop's still alive. And the underground will never die.
I don't like mainstream anyway. I like off the beaten path. So again, I thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next week. I might be here at 4 o'clock. Depending on whether or not this person can come through. So, see y'all later. Real hip hop still alive. I got Real hip hop still alive. Real hip hop still alive. Hit up by Comp. Real hip hop still alive. Oh, really? Hold up. I knew it was gonna do that. They're locked up. We're gonna do this again. It does it every once in a while when you click it from one thing to another. When that connect. Real hip hop still alive. We'll try that again. But let me turn this off. I don't want to give my information away.